You know what? I forgot to add myself to the stream, so let me start all over. Good morning to everyone. This is the Black Opinionated woman, also known as a bow. So, yeah, I forgot to add myself to the stream here. Basically, I was supposed to go live last night, but I was so tired and I fell asleep. And as you can see, I took my bonnet off, and here I am. Um, Yeah, so you can see in the background, I'm going to enjoy my trees for a few more days before I take them down. Aren't they cute? Ew, ew. All right, so yeah, let's get into it. So last night, I was thinking about a few things. They weren't really cohesive thoughts, but I actually had time. I had time because um, I was actually resting my body. So it allowed me to think about things that weren't important. But so I just had a few questions. And look, it's the kind of thing that's going to probably make people not very happy with me, but it is what it is. One, I want to talk about, why do we all have the same face in the Black community? We all have the same face. And I think a lot of it has to do with what we're pushing out as far as this beauty standard, right? The standard of beauty is it's like one way. And I feel like for women to feel beautiful, they have to um, adorn the wigs. And there's nothing wrong with wigs, right? But it's like we all look the same wig, the same edges, the same nails, even our eyebrows, the thick eyebrow is like it's like the same eyelashes, the same. I want to like put this serious thing around my lips and do the off color thing on the inside, which I actually think is cute. But yeah, I just feel like I think Black women feel. I'm not speaking for all Black women, but I'm calling the thing a thing. Let me go ahead and put my banner up because I don't need any shenanigans. Look, Black women, I feel like we, and I'm saying we collectively, have to conform to this perceived beauty standard. Okay, so what's happening is, because there's this weird gender war going on right now, and there's so many ways of unpacking that, right? There's so many layers to it. I feel like Black women are on the struggle bus in terms of identifying with their beauty. Most of them would not dare to come on here like the way I am right now. I look, I went into the bathroom, brushed my teeth, and all that good stuff, took my bonnet off, and then I did this. I didn't wrap or do anything to my hair. They would not dare come on here without their situation. I feel like when we look at women right now, at least that's what's being put out in front, in our faces. I don't know. I just feel like what we're seeing right now is I think women, Black women, desperately trying to, I don't want to say be chosen, but we want to be seen as beautiful. We want to be seen all these things, and I get it, right? There is this need for, I think, public affirmation. We're not self-affirming right now. So, in order to get this affirmation, okay, in order to get the affirmation from the public, I feel like we are dealing with this weird beauty standard. And then we've got women on this app pushing this. Like, there's so many. Look, if you go out there and just look up the 5 things that Black women are interested in, or something like that, you can do all kinds of searches. It's gonna come up with beauty and hair stuff, and it's the same people that they bring up, right? We are basically pushing. I want you to listen. We're not telling everyone, we're not saying this is the beauty standard. You can say something by what you talk about, by the stuff that you put out, right? So right now, I just feel like is this what we're teaching? Are we teaching our 20 somethings and 30 somethings and our teens that, like, you will be seen as beautiful if you wear this, if you adorn this wig, because I feel like it's almost like a costume at this point, and it has to be long, long, like waves. And by the way, it's not going to match your hair texture. It's going to be very Eurocentric. Now, that's not to say that we don't have silky hair when we manipulate it. There are some people who are born with it, and there's some of us, like if we get our hair done, like if I get my hair professionally done, very silky, blows in the wind. I feel like the wind is just, you know what I mean? But the message that we have sent to our women is like, I need you to have a European centered wig. I mean, Eurocentric look by wearing this wig, and it has to be long and silky. That's what's considered beautiful. And now, for the people who don't want to believe me, it's not like most of us are going out there adorning. Thank you. It's not like we're adorning. I mean, I should probably call this out. Damien Pollock, you're talking facts. We're not out here wearing wigs with like the afro. There's always like one or two. But I'm just trying to understand what is going on. We have women out here wearing eyelashes and they can barely lift their eyelids. So this is the thing. I'm gonna circle back for a second. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. I did a video on Pretty Girls versus Plain Janes or something like that. Let me see. I might even still have that. Yes, this is what it was. Plain Janes versus Pretty Girls. This was the actual this was the thumbnail that we would have selected to get into that particular video. And oh, I thought I had that off to the side. Anyway, off to the left is just a picture of me a few months ago. The picture off to the right was, I don't even think it was a year ago. And all I had on here was some eyelashes and a little bit of makeup. Same woman, a little bit of a transformation. And what I said in that video is there are some women who genuinely enjoy the transformation, right? You can tell they're very artistic, very artsy. They love the act and the art of the transformation of looks, of costumes, very artsy kind of people. And I do believe some people really do exist like that. They just like to change it up. Maybe it's like you want to be like a mermaid or something. I don't know. You want to wear a wig, like a blue or green or pink wig, long wig, long tresses. Just the artistry in how to make up your face to look a certain way. There's a reason why you have people in theater, in the entertainment industry who deal with just makeup and costumes. So I get that. What I'm seeing with Black women is I don't think it's the genuine art of the transformation. I think I'm trying to assimilate. I want to be chosen. And a lot of people will say things like, oh, she just wants to be chosen. Well, if we're all being honest, everyone, men and women, want to be chosen. Okay. I don't think wanting to be chosen is necessarily bad. I think it's the connotation we put behind it when you go all the way out into the whole pick me realm. But I find that the women, I mean, so my question is like, so is this really what we want to push? Because I feel like right now we all have the same face. Every Black woman, like, and I know I'm overstating, but it's like we all have the same face. We all have the same wig, the same lashes, the same thick eyebrows that go like that. We have the same nails, the same what do you call it, lining around the lips, the same 2 or 3 colors that you put on the inside of the lips. So it looks like your lips have all these different colors. So we're trying to pout. We're trying to do the pout thing. We all look the same. We all look the same. No, my cat did not just come slinking down here like that. You can go around that way. I'm live, honey. So anyway, that's my question. What are we doing? What are we promoting right now? What are we doing going into 2023? Why are we promoting this look? And then what kills me about this whole baby hair thing, because I feel like there's layers to the baby hair. Like everybody's got the same baby hairs that come down like that. I don't know why that is I don't know who said that trend was cute. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to do something with my edges because I hardly ever do anything with my edges. As you can see, well, I have edges, right? But I also just accept my situation for what it is. So I have not done my hair. Yes, I did wake up like this. It is what it is, right? But I'm also 46 years old and I recognize that, like, look, you know, if I want to dress up, I'll dress up, but I'm not trying to do that every day. I like having good skin. Y'all not going to mess up my skin. All right, so I'm going to move on to my next question. I want to talk about this notion of walking in my truth. I'm just sharing my truth. Everyone's got their own truth. So I'm like, if everyone has their own truth, is there no truth? I feel like it's a very philosophical question, and I don't feel like I am super prepared for it because I know people can probably explain that better. But I am so sick and tired of people talking about I'm walking in my truth. I'm like, there's truth. That's it. So everybody has their own truth, which makes me think there is no truth if everybody has their own truth. You know, there's always that saying that perception is like my perception is my reality or something along that effect. And that's true. Now, I will say this, depending on the point of view you're coming from, oftentimes that you will see a different flavor of truth, so to speak. Nevertheless, I feel like everyone's entitled to their own facts, their own truth, which to me, I feel like we're at the point now where there is no such thing as truth. I don't even know how the news agencies can even report at this point because everybody has their own truth. I'm like, why can't everyone speak the truth? The truth. We have to stop with this. Like, well, I'm speaking my truth. I'm like, well, is it true? I mean, like, are we speaking facts? Or are we speaking feelings? I don't know. These are just the questions I have. I'm going to move on to the, oh, like, no, someone is not trying to text me early this morning. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. I feel like I'm getting ready to piss some people off, but I want to bring up Dave Chappelle. I feel like Dave Chappelle is a highly intelligent person, but I still feel like I don't know if he's got a little bit of buck dance in him. I say this because he has a huge white following. Oh, I feel like there's something wrong. You could tell I just woke up. Look, my teeth are clean. I have a shower gel, okay? Dave Chappelle has a huge white following, but I feel like I'm going to be one of the few people who's going to say this. There was a little bit of something about him that didn't sit right with me. Although I still find him to be wildly entertaining, but I'm going to tell you where my discomfort comes from. I feel like he is just a more sophisticated, better, funnier, more intelligent form of Chris Rock. I don't know what it is, but I think it's just because, like, when I see Chris Rock, I feel like he enjoys, it's like a form of pick meism with him. I feel like with Chris Rock, he enjoys the act of being the one to educate the white masses. So he gets to drop the N bombs and talk about black women hair and all these other things, right? And everyone gets their hee haws. But Dave Chappelle does the same thing. And I feel like because it's coming from him and he gets to drop this and drop N bombs, stuff like that, I don't really feel like I just feel like white people are getting their hee haws at the fact that he's just saying it like it is. And he gets to, I still feel like there's a little bit of denigration there. Now, I feel like it's tough with it, like a Dave Chappelle, because you don't want to demonize the art form. And he has a delivery that is unmatched, at least in current times. I don't think anyone can deliver like Dave Chappelle. I would say the my other favorite person would be like a Cat Williams, right? But Cat Williams he doesn't give a F. But when I circle back to Dave Chappelle, I think the reason why there is a level of discomfort with him, and that's because I feel like oftentimes I think he feels like he's educating white people, and he is. But I also feel like there's a little bit of laughter at him. I don't think they're laughing with him. I think they're laughing at him because he's dropping in this and that. And he's just really comfortable doing it in front of white people. Not to say that we have to censor ourselves for white people, but I feel like he's trying to normalize N bombs. And I'm like, we've gotten to the point now where I've heard this somewhere. I heard this somewhere before, but somebody had actually mentioned something that I had said something to somebody. It was so uncanny. Someone, I gotta find where I heard this. We've got people now thinking women refer to themselves as bees. What's up, bee? Like it's a term of affection. Let me make this clear. You will not be calling me a bitch. Not if you don't want me to unleash this tongue, because this tongue is quite treacherous. Look, I'm not fully like sanctified or anything like that, because at the end of the day, well, this sun is really trying to come in right now. You see this? So, but my whole big thing is we have normalized calling each other bees, and we've got comedians such as Dave Chappelle normalizing N bombs, and he's using it in mixed company as if it's, and they're laughing when he says and in this and in that, and they're like like full on hee hawing. I feel like Dave Chappelle have some mess about him. Now, let me just say for the record, I still feel like he is a talented comedian, but I have to call a thing a thing. Thing. So I just want to know what's the deal with Dave Chappelle? Why do when I say we love him so much? I mean, he is a funny dude, but he gets like these passes for dropping N bombs. And I think he thinks that white people are laughing with him. I think they're laughing at him. Just like Chris Rock. The only difference is I don't think Chris Rock is as nearly talented. Let me rephrase that. He's not, I just think he's not as good as a Dave Chappelle. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I just feel like Dave Chappelle thinks that people are laughing with him when I think that they're kind of laughing at him. I think I think he has a way of making white people feel comfortable with laughing at our own, I don't even know what word I want to use, the way we talk about each other. He has made a lot of money in making white people feel comfortable at laughing at us. Him and Chris Rock. Hey, I'm live, by the way. I'm almost done though. So, my other question, which is really going to be unpopular, has to do with trans women. A lot of people want to tell you that we need to be including them in everything. And let me just make it clear. You can support people in terms of having their own, having their rights. And are you trying to come behind me? Okay, let me just do it this way. Sorry, that's my husband. He's going to make some eggs. Yay! Yes, you are. Leave some for me. So look, I feel like when it comes to the trans women issue, you can support them from a human level. But I don't feel like as a Black woman, I have to say that trans women are the same as I don't even know how, there's so many terms used right now. I'm going to say biological woman. Now I saw somewhere where somebody says, I hate the term when you say biological women because we're all biological and I am still a woman. Look, we can split hairs all we want. My question is, why do we feel the need to say trans women are the same as women who were born with two X chromosomes? I don't feel like I should have to distinguish. Women, in my opinion, are people. I don't really separate sex and gender too much. I think along the spectrum of gender, you have men who have more feminine characteristics. Maybe they want to cross dress, wear makeup or whatever it is, and you have women who can be more masculine in terms of wanting to, I don't know, whatever it is that's considered masculine. I mean, I feel like I have masculine characteristics. I don't think it takes away from me being a woman. I have feminine and masculine characteristics. I think the thing is that we're jumping through hoops to try to include a group of people into. I feel like we're trying to change definitions, and I'm not for it. So if you don't agree with the whole thing surrounding trans women, they'll say you're a transphobe. I'm like, no. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean you get to tell me that I'm scared of trans women. I want to make this clear. And just because I don't agree doesn't mean I hate trans women. The fact of the matter is, trans women, it's clear. You did something to alter your body. And I think where my frustration lies is if I think it's called a DSM, it is categorized as, it's like I think like a mental disorder or something along those lines. Is DSM-9, I believe. If this is a disorder, like any other sort of disorder, you would treat the patient. I don't understand why now, if you are a trans woman, that it is my job to affirm your womanhood. It's not my job to do that. And I'm not going to do it. What I will be is respectful. I'll be respectful. But if you were born with two X chromosomes, to me, that's a woman. We could say there's a female and there's a woman. I know the difference between sex and gender. I just feel like at the end of the day, I can still support the trans community in terms of making sure they have human rights and civil rights and that type of thing. But I want to make it clear, I don't believe that trans women are the same as women who have two X chromosomes. And I'm not going to put cis in front of my name, CIS, for those of you who don't understand where I'm coming from. I'm a woman. That's it. I'm not going to sit there and put qualifiers in front of it. If you are a trans individual, you can put qualifiers in front of your name. And I don't care how many times you say, I'm a woman, I will be respectful of you, but I want to make it clear, I don't believe we are the same. We're not. I'm going to move on past that because I know that whoever's watching this is going to be in their feelings, but it's okay. We are allowed to have our separate feelings. This is the last point I'm going to make. I feel like on this app, we are afraid to be honest because I have the fortunate luxury, if you want to call it that, of having such a small following that I can get canceled. It's look, I don't eat off of this app, right? So my small followership, which I appreciate them very much, the fact of the matter is I don't have brand deals. I don't earn AdSense or anything off of this channel. So I am fortunate enough that I can just speak freely and clearly. This is what I believe. These are my values. And I'm not in danger. The most that can happen is they say, hey, we're going to put your channel on timeout, or maybe we'll cancel altogether. Changes nothing for me on my day-to-day because I don't eat off of this. I don't make a dime off of this. I believe that many of the people who are out here on this app, they are not honest. They are not honest. The people who get out here and the shucking and jiving and carrying on, I think everyone has to please these algorithms and stuff like that. A few days ago, I did a video on, let me see if I can bring that up. I did a video on, where was it? I wrote it down. Where was it? I did a video on all models are wrong. Some are useful. On models. That was the thumbnail. I have a point to this. A few days ago, I did a video on all models are wrong, some are useful, right? That quote came from George E.P. Box. I was talking with a friend of mine at work, and he's working on his PhD, and he was talking about some of the things. He asked me about, how's your channel going? I said, it's going okay. I said, it's not really growing all that quickly. And I said, the model for success on YouTube, now listen to this. I said, the model for Black YouTube success is to talk about one of several things. Beauty. It's to talk about, so it's either to talk about beauty, hair, Okay. You have to either denigrate black women, or be part of the black man, the weirdo whacked out manosphere, or you have to be an angry black woman and talk about how much you hate black men. And then on occasion, we can sprinkle in some colorism or something. I said that's the model for success on YouTube, especially triggering black women's anger. That is the model for success. I said this the other day on my thing, and he said, all models are wrong. Some are useful. He kept saying it. He's like, that model is useful, but it doesn't mean it's always correct, basically. So now the question becomes, do I come up with another model? I don't know. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a grassroots effort, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm just one person. I don't have much of a followership. But the fact of the matter is, what I don't want to do is get on this app every single day and talk about why all black men get on my nerves and how they're so horrible. There are times when those conversations need to be had. I don't want to hear a whole bunch of angry black dudes talk about black women and submission and stuff when they don't even have a table. They talk about what you bring to the table, and their table is raggedy. I'm like, are you serious right now? I need you to level up. I don't want to hear black women tell me one other time about how to apply a wig. I swear to goodness, it's the same wig. Everyone's got the same wig. I'm tired of looking at all these makeup videos. I'm tired of talking about how you can get your 4C hair to pop curls. So I'm like, that model, I said, I'm not really a fan of that model to be successful. And then I was looking at this AI thing yesterday, and I was trying to figure out what the AI thing thought of. And, all it did was just confirm everything that I thought of. So I'm like, I would ask this chat thing, what are the, what are, what is the model for success or something like that, or whatever. And the stupid chat AI thing, whatever it's called, all it did was bring up the same few people on YouTube talking about the exact same things I talked about. I'm like, I'm tired of all the successful people. So then when I was walking through the AI thing, it finally breaks down what we already know. Yes, there is an algorithmic bias. So I was like, see, this is the reason why. So like the algorithm already is biased towards black content. Let me bring it back. The point I'm getting to is, when I said that people aren't being honest and that type of thing, I'm like, look, you got a lot of people who know that, okay, if I want to actually be successful on this app, I need to conform to this model. I need to conform to this model. There's a lot of black women who will act like they're still black women, but they understand. They're like, you know what, it's time for me to get another check. So let me go ahead and cash in on this black woman rage. And let me just say for the record, the things that they talk about are true. But they know exactly what they're doing. They're quite sophisticated at it, like many of these other people on YouTube. And don't get me wrong, I do subscribe to some I don't, just because I just haven't hit subscribe, whatever. The point I'm getting at is, I don't think people are really honest out here. I think that people are speaking and talking about things that they know that like it's going to trigger a reaction and get views and that type of thing. They have to pay their bills. I get it. It would be totally easy to get out here. I could pick a topic and run with it just to piss people off. I can go pick a topic. I should pick something on colorism. Colorism. It would totally trigger black rage. And the things that I would point out would be true, but I would just be sophisticated in my language. And yes, colorism needs to be discussed because it's a problem. Anyway, let me just say this. Those are some of the things I was just thinking about. I just had some questions. I'm just trying to figure out why they're trying to push trans men in my face, the trans women in my face. I want to, let me ask you another question. I'm gonna wind it back. I don't understand why people think it's okay to represent womanhood with a trans woman. I feel like it is totally disingenuous to do that. What part of womanhood does the trans woman identify with? What part? I'm just curious. Because at the end of the day, They could always detransition and go and fall back on their masculinity and have that set of privileges. I'm just curious, what part of womanhood do you know this? How do you even feel like a woman? How do you know what it's like to be a woman? So, and people will say, oh, you're being violent towards trans people. Okay, whatever. Like I said what I said. The most you can do is shut down my channel. I don't hate trans people. And let me tell you something. I can sit next and work with and kiki or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I believe what I believe. So it is what it is. I don't want to ever see a group of people who struggle with their identity. Let me just say this too. What drives me so crazy about the trans thing is usually with any other sort of disorder, you would treat the person, right? You would get them help, you would treat them. If it was anorexia, you would actually try to get the person to you would try to figure out why do you feel like you are overweight or whatever it is. You would try to help instill some eating habits that are beneficial to the body, get to a healthy weight. You would do these things. You would address the mental, right? Like what is going on. What you wouldn't do is affirm their whacked out notions, so to speak. Now I know that's probably offensive. You wouldn't say, yeah, you know what? You are big. Lose another 50 pounds, even though you're already grossly underweight. So when it comes to trans anything, and I'm speaking for trans women, as far as from the outside looking in, I don't understand why we go through these hoops to say, you know what, you feel like you should just be a woman. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to affirm that. I'm going to not only that, but I'm going to alter your body because you are in a mental state where you just can't get past it. You just hate the body that you're in. So we're going to alter it. We're going to make changes, and then we're going to start trying to push this at such early ages. I can't even get past that. So with trans, we have to affirm, and then we actually, instead of treating the mental, like, because clearly these are troubled people. I can't even imagine what it's like to feel like you're trapped in a body. And let me just say for the record, the one thing that the trans community is correct about is trans people have been here forever, ever, forever. People have dressed up certain ways, like they've been around. They've been around. But nowadays, we're telling people that we have to affirm their mental, their disorder. I'm like, no, no, I don't. The only thing I have to do is be respectful and treat you like a human and make sure you have all your rights. But I want to make this clear. It's not my job to affirm you. I'm not. All right, let me get off. I know I was going to do another live. I was supposed to do this one last night. I was so tired, I fell asleep. Y'all going to have to forgive me. Algorithmic bias. I had all these notes on here. I wrote this in a stupor. All right, I don't know. Does anyone have any questions? I see a couple of you are live here with me. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to come up live. If not, I'm going to go ahead. I guess I should. It's kind of early. All right. Well, let me go because. All right. Well, look. Thanks for listening. And let me see. Where's my outro? Until next time.